We hear bits and pieces about Jade Helm 15, nothing about what is going on with the American dollar, and all kinds of stuff about sports, actors, and singers. Our TV news programs recap so-called reality TV episodes, and our commercials tell us that there is a pill for everything. There are soldiers in the streets and military equipment rolling across America by the trainload. The dollar is losing value and countries are going bankrupt. America owes more money than it can ever hope to pay. What is really going on in America right now? There is a new reserve currency coming. It will be the yuan. China is beta testing the International Electronic Exchange for this new system now as we speak. They are expecting to go worldwide live in September of this year. Right now, China holds more of the US currency than the US does. This is the first time in all of history this has ever happened, where a non-reserve country holds more of the reserve currency. China also has more gold than any other country, more liquid assets, and they back their yuan with gold. China has been petitioning the IMF for years to be part of the SWIFT system, the current electronic exchange system run by the IMF, but they have been turned down. So far the IMF has been able to enforce economic sanctions upon any country it wants by cutting off SWIFT access to the exchange currency. The US government does this all the time. Think Iraq, Russia, Cuba etc. As China's system becomes available worldwide, that is all going to end. The IMF will no longer have a monopoly on exchange rates, and everything is going to have to be reevaluated, including the dollar. And the Chinese yuan is more stable, gold-backed and liquid. I don't know when this change will happen, but it is coming soon. When that happens, and it will, nothing should change in the US. The reason being, before the new reserve currency is announced, all currencies across the world are going to be reevaluated with the yuan as the new standard for buying and selling goods internationally. Currencies will be evaluated by if their currency is backed by gold, silver, or any other valuable resource, meaning people, yes, you are collateral, natural resources, workforce, manufacturing, factories, production etc. The dollar will still be used in the US, but will have no value to other countries, as they will not be able to use it to buy anything. The dollar will actually gain value because there are fewer dollars in circulation. China has double the dollars, and the other countries combined have over double what China has, meaning we should see at least a 400% increase in the dollar if things progress naturally. But the US government is never going to allow that to happen, because they are bought and paid for by corporations and the rich. They will keep prices artificially high. We will be lucky to see a 10% decrease in prices. Now, everyone is in an uproar about Jade Helm 15. There are many people claiming this is an attack upon the American people by the military, and they are going to try and take the guns, move people into FEMA camps, impose nationwide martial law. As it stands right now, this cannot happen. There are more than 380 million guns in America. 1 in 5 Americans own at least one gun with at least 100 rounds for it. 1 in 15 own at least 10 guns with at least 1,000 rounds of ammunition for each gun. More than 20% of Americans support the NRA and gun rights. If every military personnel was in the US and every law enforcement officer joined together against the American people, which won't happen either, at least 40% of the military will not fire on the American people and more than 60% of the military is outside the US, they would still be outnumbered 10,000 to 1. The politicians have access to all of these facts, so someone in the government has figured out the same thing. Martial law is not going to work across the entire country. They cannot defend it or uphold it unless they convince the American people they need the government to save them from something. Like the idea of the American dollar failing, when in all reality it failed a long time ago, back in 1973, when Nixon stopped backing the dollar with gold. So, why does it still have value? Because the US has nuclear bombs, other weapons of mass destruction, and the Federal Reserve, which is no more federal than FedEx, owns the IMF. Since the Federal Reserve says the dollar has value, so does the IMF, but in all reality, it has no value at all. So don't argue it is a debt note and not a currency anyway. That is totally irrelevant here and an issue to talk about at a later date. If the US government uses this as a fear tactic, telling the people that the dollar is going to be replaced and now has no value, panic will immediately follow, hence the extra equipment, vehicles and medical personnel put on active duty for Jade Helm 15. If the US citizens panic, the government can come along and save them, start with what they want to happen, then create a situation where that will occur. But as with all other false flags, it is a lie. The dollar will already have a new value in relation to the new reserve currency, yuan. The government and big corporation will make a fortune on the panic in the U.S. The American people need to know this, so they will not fall into the false flag that the dollar has no value and panic so the government can't save them.